And g'day there, my name is Aussie Stern, a country Victorian gamer of Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion, Dystopian Wars, Flames of War, and many other games. So this afternoon I'm starting to paint some more of my Shapeway Order 3. And I'm going to start off by putting some colours on my Corellian Gunships. Now, in Order 1 from Shapeway, I got a number of Hammerhead Corvettes, and I also managed to get a second Corellian Corvette. And you may have seen some photos that I have done of painting it by just painting over the Corellian Corvette in the bone white that I use, and then colouring in the lines in a different colour. In that case it was a turquoise blue. This one I'm doing very similar. I've already undercoated both of them and sealed the underside where the holes were, here and here, with some green stuff. And I'm going to paint one of them with this warpstone green. Very similar to what I have done with the Corellian Corvette, doing rings around certain areas, as well as some of the flat areas almost entirely in this green, but leaving the gun turret as is. On the second one, I'm planning on doing it slightly different, with more of a either orange or a blue tone. Haven't quite decided on that one yet, so I may wait until I get to it before I decide. Certainly not going with the red, because I have used red quite a bit. So I'm going to try something different and using the Warplock glow. I'm also going to use the yellow from Citadel for the engines, and also a little bit of Abaddon black for around the actual muzzle, and maybe even some Warplock bronze around the engines, just to give it that little bit dirty look, but also a little bit metallic look. After that's all done, I'll end up using null shade as to define the lines a bit more, and also hopefully make the weapons be able to be seen a lot easier. To that end, I'm just going to move that one to a side, and I'm going to start off with this one. Now, the concept of this one that I'm going to do in the green comes from YouTube, of all places. So if you go on YouTube and you look up Star Wars short films, there is an episode there that someone has done of two Corellian gunships, similar to these, taking on a Gazanti. And it actually looked very good on screen. I actually quite enjoyed it, the way that they looked. And it had, around the edge here, around the head, a green ring, just like that. It had another secondary green ring halfway down. It also had a couple of the squares, which is this one right here, where it was completely green, except for the weapon, which I thought was highly nice as well. So I want to take my time, and as you can see, I've got stubby fingers. Some people will use a stand. To get a better grip, I'm just going to use this for the moment. So hopefully you'll be able to watch what I do. Now the Warblock green is nice color. It's a darkish green, but it's not into the likes of some of the camo greens. So it still has quite a nice brightness to it. Hence it's called, hence why it sort of has that glow look. In the old days, you would call it almost Dark Angel Green from the Citadel range. Or also, I think it may also closely resemble a old colour by the name of Snot Green. Not too appetizing to actually think about something called like that, but still. Now, I'm just going to adjust the screen so that you get a better view going into some light. Yeah. So there you can see that green around the edge. Now the panel that I'm going to do green is right here as well, where I've just marked it. The other concentric circle will be just in front of this section right here. And I may even do some green on the top in this square, leaving the guns. And also maybe the platforms here. So let's get on with it and see how well I go with what I plan to try and do. Always important to have a good light source. But obviously you don't want it in the camera shot, do you? Now I do notice this about a lot of the Corellian crafts that we've seen in Star Wars Armada, Star Wars anime, even in the extended universe stuff like RPGs and stuff like that, that quite a lot of Corellian engineering stuff is highly circular. You see that with the Corellian Gunship, you see that with even some of the old Sphere stuff, that it has that circular circular exhausts or rounded sections throughout. Even the likes of the Republic cruisers that you see at the start of episode 1 are said to be manufactured by a number of companies, but also Corellian ship drives. Which is it interesting that they have this same, I guess, flavor to them of having the circles. High Republic and Old Republic, Corellian stuff is a bit more boxy. So I'm just putting it on lightly. Yes, I'm going to have to come back and do some touch-ups on some of these areas. Now, I think, seeing I've done a circle here, some square bits, square bit up here eventually, I should do a third circle somewhere. So either I want to do it either around this middle collar that delineates from the main weapon area to the engineering section, or I may even do it closer to this bridge section right here. I may even try both, but first off, I think I'll do this section right here. I'm going to leave this bit just as is, because I think it might actually look good as like a brace, a demarcation of the actual circle. And I want it to be I guess the idea of the ring being slightly thicker in terms of width than that other circle that I've got later on, or even the front. Yeah. So now the reverse side. And there we go. That ring's pretty done. So next one is going to be this collar right here. Now it is boxed in a little bit from some of the weapon emplacements to the side of it. which means I don't have to actually colour a full ring, just make it look as though there is a bit of a ring. And same thing again, leaving that brace the colour it is. Working your way around the model until it's all completed. So, now, this side of the equation. Now, most people should be knowledgeable from looking at my channel already of what the Corellian gunship is. But for those that don't, the Corellian gunship, in terms of what it meant for the rebels, is that this is an anti-fighter. It is mainly got lots of turbo lasers, quad laser cannons, similar to what you see in on board the Millennium Falcon that Han and Luke use to great effect in episode 4. It also has a number of missile launchers on it, missile ports. This meant that this ship not only had the capability to take out starfighters very nicely, and it was primarily used to defend the fleet in that way, it also had a case of it can actually provide some weaponry support when encountering larger Imperial vessels. It's also the case that, for the most part, this is the one true warship that the rebels had access to for a long time, until they got things like the Corellian gunship. Almost all other ships that they had were civilian ships that they retrofitted in some ways. This is always was designed by Corellian shipyards as a actual fighting vessel. And as you can see, it's studded with turbo lasers all over the place. You got these three down here, quad laser cannons, I should keep on saying. Those three right there, another one here. This might have been where the missile ports were. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the reverse, 11, 12, 13 on the top. So you can see blisters of 13 already. That's not even counting anything that we can't see from the paint job yet. Just do a little bit of colour touch up on just underneath this wing here. There. Okay, let's dry that off. Now to put some colour on the engines. Now the engines, you can see, basically encompasses a whole section here, here and here. So I'm going to colour the full engine in this colour. Pretty much mostly where the engine is. The exhaust of the engine, I should say. With the rear, I'm just going to do the edges right now, because I want to do the center in that yellow shortly. So you can see that's not a bad coloration. So I'll leave that to dry for now. While I've got the paint out, I'm going to do the painting of the second craft, of its weapon engine brace area. Exactly the same. It just saves me a little bit of time later on when I start doing the painting of this model. Yeah, and there you can see That one's also now nicely done. Let's do the edges. Like so. There you have it. That one's all ready as well for the engine detail. So that is where I'm going to call it for this video. Please like, please subscribe. Please let me know if you've got any thoughts about what color I should be doing this model as in the comments below. If you think I should do like the whole model as blue with red or orange rings, or if you think I should do it in some other combination of colors. Either way, thank you for taking your time to enjoy this video, and I will see you on the table. Catch you next time for now. Bye.